Live from the Sands Convention Center, Las Vegas, Nevada, extracting the signal from the noise. It's theCUBE, covering HP Discover 2015. Brought to you by HP. And now your host, Dave Vellante.
Welcome back to HP Discover, everybody. This is Dave Vellante, and this is theCUBE. We go out to the events, we get the signal from the noise. Check out hpdiscover.social. It's our new social experience that we're overlaying on top of theCUBE for HP Discover. Kerry Bailey is here. He's the Senior Vice President of HP Cloud, and Andrew Cox is Senior Vice President of Cloud Solutions at Synchronoss. Gentlemen, welcome to theCUBE. Kerry, it's great to see you again.
Yeah, good to see you again.
Andrew, thanks for coming on.
Yeah, appreciate it.
So let's see, it's been a while. It's about a little over a year since we last talked. So you're now feet first, all in.
I'll tell you, it has been Helion every day, every night, kind of running around as cloud is exploding for enterprises, as you know now. Synchronoss is a great example of that, but it's been a heck of 18 months here.
Yeah, so tell us about Synchronoss.
So Synchronoss is a company that offers mobile device activation and mobile device backup solutions. We typically target those solutions to carriers that resell those solutions to their customers. So we're very integral, particularly in the cloud backup strategy, to helping our customers maintain their customers, reducing churn in the the cellular industry, which is pretty big for them.
So my iCloud backup never works. Can you help me with that problem?
We sure can. So the approach that we've taken is to provide a heterogeneous platform. We support Apple, we support Android, we support BlackBerry, Windows phones, and we let our carriers offer that experience to their customers.
And the history of the company, how long have you guys been around?
So we've been around for a little over 12 years. Really started off in the activations business. So we're behind all the activations for AT&T and some other wireless carriers right now. So we're behind the scenes, the man behind the curtain, as we like to say. But we are very tightly integrated to several different companies' activations process. And we orchestrate all the activities that go along with getting a cellular device on a mobile network.
And so what's the infrastructure look like that's supporting
So the infrastructure for that platform is fairly simple. It doesn't take that much effort to manage all the activation processes, even for a large number of carriers. But where our infrastructure has really grown is in the mobile device backup area. So we're operating platforms now where we're backing up hundreds of terabytes of data a day, petabytes and petabytes a month, and have had to really adapt our strategy to be able to support that.
Okay, so how about you're right, lots going on in Helion. We heard today, I called it the dog fooding segment, HP using Helion and cloud internally. So give us the sort of business update, the strategy, how that's evolving. We were at OpenStack Summit last week.
Yeah, that's right.
Obviously some good action going on there.
Yeah, I think you and I talked about it maybe a year ago on this as well, and it was all about kind of where are enterprises in this overall cloud adoption, right? And you go, wow, we've been in cloud for 8 or 9 years now. Where is everybody? You think they would be all the way into the material part of running every application in some type of delivery model, some type of cloud. Reality is enterprises are still early in the journey, and I think that's been probably the biggest surprise that we've had. I think even when you look at Synchronoss has everything there is that you would think about being in the cloud. They do Internet of Things, they do mobile, everything driven by cloud, and I'm sure Andrew will tell you, they're still pretty early in that journey to getting to a platform that is, very much cloud economic, very much flexible, agile, and can adapt to the business, right? So if you look where we are right now, we've said private cloud is the path to hybrid, and it has been true. We look across all of our customers today, it has literally been customers are starting with private, they're starting their self-service work, and then they're beginning to move to cloud native applications. So just amazing.
So HP, your strategy is different than many. Choice, big theme.
Yep.
You've chosen to do obviously your own OpenStack distro. You put a lot of effort into OpenStack. Some others have said, all right, we're going to outsource our OpenStack distro to whomever. You are not forcing me into the public cloud.
That's right.
But you're allowing me to go there. You've got a Cloud Foundry PaaS layer.
Yep.
So maybe talk about that a little bit, how you're different than some of the other guys.
Absolutely. I mean, I think one of the things that we do for all of the customers is we look and we say it will be a multi-cloud world. There is no doubt about it. We're embracing public cloud, we're embracing private cloud, but we know that ultimately it is the connection of those two that is way that these applications and workloads are going to run, period, for enterprises as they move. So where we start is certainly from our position of strength. We've been around a very long time running a lot of mission critical systems of record. Those applications absolutely right now are moving to a private cloud. If you think about the journey, we went from bare metal, we went to virtualization, we went to orchestration and automation. We're now into that self-service model. And that self-service model is enterprises are becoming an internal service provider. That key jump is still pretty early for enterprises. So we're helping customers get to that self-service private cloud. At that point, we can burst out to Amazon, we can go out to Microsoft Cloud Azure, we can go to our own public cloud. We do what is right for that particular workload. And that's why we say private cloud really is the basis of customers going to hybrid.
So Andrew, we've been talking about this for 5 years. This sort of, what Kerry just described is what we were saying, okay, that's where it's going to go in 5 years. Why did it take so long? Was the technology not ready? Were the organizations not ready?
I think so. I don't think there were solutions ready available to adopt. I mean, we built our own cloud platform. I wouldn't call it a cloud platform in the traditional sense, but it's what we operated our software on. And our software was very tightly coupled to the hardware. We built our own deployment technologies and our own automation processes. And what started to happen was that just became more and more and more burdensome, and we became an infrastructure company, a service provider company, when really we're a software company. So the thing that's attractive to us about the Helion platform, the Helion service provider network, is we can start to transition to leverage the technology and the services that HP and their partners can provide to us. We can focus more on our software, the relationship with our customers, and also finding a good match between the location of the service providers and the location of our customers, or the ability of HP to build and manufacture a solution for us and ship it anywhere in the world, and get our teams out of the process of actually building and managing data centers.
So you're not buying a cloud. Cloud is not a SKU, right? Right. You're building it. You're not buying it. Right? I mean, is that a fair statement?
Well, I don't know. I wouldn't necessarily say that. I think we are working with HP to turn the Synchronoss platform into a SKU, where we could say, give us a small or medium or large and ship it to this particular country or this customer on this date, and then help us with the support and maintenance of that IaaS platform, and let us manage our software on top of that platform.
So that's changing. You had to essentially build your own, but now you're seeing a light at the end of that tunnel where you can actually go to Kerry and say, okay, here's what I want, configure it, drop it in, and let me worry about other stuff.
In our Cloud System product, so Cloud System 9 was just announced here at Discover. Cloud System 9 has the ability to run traditional workloads as well as cloud native, right? So now OpenStack Cloud Foundry is embedded in Cloud System 9. That platform is kind of a cloud in a box. That allows a customer to be able to come in and say, I can provision my VMs, I can provision all the infrastructure, I can get developers up and running, I can put applications in a catalog, and I can become a self-service kind of internal service provider. The piece around that journey, though, and it's exactly what Synchronoss has done with a great partner of ours on Exanet. They have really started the journey of what workloads go on and how you begin to step into that overall journey to a much more kind of self-service cloud. So we really is a cloud in a box, but then you've got to get the workloads there, you've got to become a service provider, all of those pieces go with it.
Well, and you've got security, and you've got governance, and you've got data edicts from your organization that you have to apply to that cloud. Or are you saying you're just taking your existing processes and forming them around?
No, we have to change our processes. I mean, we've had to change things about our software architecture to remove dependencies that we had on the hardware design that we had built and maintained, and we're still working through that process to perfect that and tune that, and be able to reproduce that, end to end. So we're developing and using CSA to help automate the infrastructure provisioning, the software distribution, and starting to look at some of the other tools that HP has to offer to integrate into our software development process.
Yes, and that was my point about hybrid cloud is not a SKU. It's sort of tongue-in-cheek, but I want to, for our audience of practitioners out there, the technology, process, and people. Technology, you guys got that covered.
You got it.
I need a partner that I trust. HP, there's other companies out there, good companies, but HP's proving itself as a partner. Boom, I got the technology piece, check. But I'm interested, Andrew, in the other sort of pieces that you have to think about as a practitioner to succeed.
Well, I think if you look at the technology, process, and people part, we were getting to the point where that technology, process, and people process went across not just our software, but on the infrastructure, managing data center environments, and we were having to become experts in areas that we probably didn't need to be getting into. So now we can focus on having the best technology for our software, the best process for developing that software, and the right people that can build that product over and over and reliably maintain it and manage it, and let these guys worry about the infrastructure that software runs on.
So that's one of the allure of the public cloud was always, okay, I can take and get rid of all this undifferentiated heavy lifting. The drawback is I got to put it in the public cloud, and I got to figure out how to do that, and I got to worry about all the security and policy edicts matching what I want to do.
Sure.
Okay, but so now, if I understand it correctly, you're able to replicate that essentially. That's the vision.
That's the beauty of what we think we'll be able to do is make the product, not just the software, but the product also associated with the infrastructure that we can ship anywhere or have it run on one of the service provider networks and know that reliably it'll be consistent wherever we want to deploy it. We're seeing challenges too from the existing current public service provider network, particularly in Europe, that data privacy laws are starting to dictate that customers want that infrastructure in their own data center, or they want to use a service provider that's in their country. So we're anticipating that the Helion service provider network is going to give us more choice, more flexibility, more things where there's a service provider that aligns geographically with one of our customers. So we're also looking to tap into that service provider network as a way to distribute our software products. So our products could be there available in a marketplace where that service provider's customers could say, hey, I need a cloud-based backup solution.
What about, what are you going to do with all this time you're going to free up, the FTE time? How will you redirect that time if they're not doing patching and performance tuning and all this?
Where I see our transition going is it's, today we've been very successful in supporting several very large carriers internationally. But having the opportunity to now take our game to address smaller carriers, maybe even enterprise customers. So the volume that we hope to get through more customers will give us lots of work to do to build and maintain and deploy the software solutions for them and help maintain those solutions, and we can let patching be maintained by somebody else.
So you have a particular discipline that you're best at, right? So that to me is attractive from a business model standpoint. You're not, people talk about the race to zero. You're not trying to take Amazon head on, for example. At the same time, that whole cloud business is a moving target. What are your thoughts on the economics of this new era relative to the public cloud guys?
I think the economics are what drove us towards this strategy. Historically, the barrier to entry for us to deploy a new instance of our platform to one of our customers was quite high, and the time to deploy that software was quite high. So high in some cases, customers said, thank you very much, I don't think we're interested in spending the money to get started with you. So, leveraging service providers provides us a way to very quickly take advantage of infrastructure that already exists, deploy our software in a matter of days or a couple of weeks, demonstrate value to the customer very quickly, start to onboard them onto our platform, rather than wait 3 to 6 months to build a data center. So, that's the real attractive thing to Synchronoss, and that's how we plan to grow our business going forward.
So Kerry, we talk about choice. HP's always been all about choice, and so then OpenStack comes along, and it's to me it's your future. I mean, but it's not your present in terms of what customers are the volume buys today.
Sure.
So you got to balance that business. So talk about that balance. What do what you're selling today, the majority of what you're selling versus the sort of future of OpenStack.
Yeah, and I think it's a challenge kind of across the whole industry right now. So we've had this slow adoption, call it, from the enterprise side of saying, hey, we're gonna move to these distributed applications, all of that. But 90% of their funds, 90% of their effort is around systems of record today, right? But at the same time, they're trying to take this cost and shrink it down and get it to a self-service platform. They can't forget about the developers that are today writing code and need a Cloud Foundry layer. They need an open infrastructure as a service layer to write to. So if IT just goes and focuses on that, the systems of record, they're going to lose control of yet the developers that are out there today. Right? So when you look at our strategy overall, yes, you're right. There's a lot of effort, work, and customer focus on their traditional workloads today. But I will tell you, every time we stand up a cloud system today, we stand up a proof of concept with Cloud Foundry and on our OpenStack platform, which now, with Cloud System 9, is all combined. So you've got to, if you're not talking the world of cloud native, the enterprises today that are moving, and much like Synchronoss, they're not going to listen to you, right? You've got to be able to paint the future picture for them, and that's frankly what we've been able to do with as much effort we put into our open source, OpenStack, Cloud Foundry efforts.
That's how you stay relevant, and if you're not relevant, you're dead.
It's where the world's going. It's
So-
going to be a major design
So what's
pattern.
that conversation like, Kerry? So you're solving a problem today where 90% of the effort is going, and they're pulling you into, okay, what about the future? Or is that something you're pushing, or a little combination?
And you know, believe it or not, it comes down to segmentation, and verticals are all very different. I'll give you 2 examples. One of them is several banks we just visited in Europe. One bank, it's an organizational challenge right now. They just need to free up money to then be able to invest in the new, okay? At the same time, they can't figure out how to free up the new right now. So their challenge for us was, help us save that money, get that onto a common platform, and let us save money in the self-service model, right? So that came from the top down, from the CEO, and we've made that work for them where they saved the money and started moving out on more cloud native. Their mobile apps that they have, their e-commerce apps they're doing are now being developed more in cloud native. Equally, we've got another bank there that has had 0 top-down support, and that one bank I talked about went from 21 weeks to basically 20 hours to get, or 20 minutes to get their whole system provision for whatever developer they want. The other organization hasn't been able to get a top-down cultural change, right? You got it. So when we go into, say, a highly paranoid vertical, say financial services, maybe public sector, a lot of the conversation is still around how to help them in their current world, and we set up that proof of concept. You come into companies, and again, I love the Synchronoss business because you say, the number of subscribers they have per these very large mobile carriers goes up and down, the change management, the backup, everything they do, it screams cloud native, right? So with a customer like Synchronoss, we go in and we speak where they need to go from a cloud native standpoint, how they get cloud economics, and how they can continue to scale out. But very different conversations depending on the segment or the customer.
2 interesting examples, and I love the former because it used to be 5, 7, 10 years ago, whatever it was, if somebody cut, it would go right to the bottom line. There was no gain share. And now I feel, we've been talking about this in theCUBE for a couple of years now, is there seems to be that shift toward, okay, I'm going to take some of that money, I have to invest it in growth. And I wonder, Andrew, you're seeing that in your own business, presumably. Cloud service providers have been on this for a while, but your customers are seeing it as well. I mean, particularly the telcos that you're selling to, and you know this business well.
Yeah, that's right.
Oh, and we're always under pressure to lower our prices and provide the same level of services, so anything we can do to lower our internal operating costs are clearly ways that are going to benefit the business.
Yeah, but this notion of what I call gain sharing, instead of just dropping it to the bottom line, investing it back in innovation, it seems like there's more confidence in the return on technology. Your return on technology has been very risky for the last decade.
I'll tell you, that's also changed with our relationship as well. If you think about what Synchronoss is doing, is they've got this great application that can move across large scale environments and also go down market. But distribution across the Helion network is something we're very interested in, because we can take that software in our Helion network of service providers that are connected to Helion OpenStack and Cloud Foundry and begin to deploy that application in regions they may not even go after, right? So now we start our own ecosystem here of fantastic applications across the breadth and the reach that we have, and now you get an ecosystem going on that frankly will begin to I think rival the size of even some of the public cloud over time.
And so you deliver this as a software as a service, or is it?
It's software as a service for our customers.
All the way, right?
Yeah, all
so
the way. We manage everything.
Not doing it on premises, right?
Yeah.
Okay, and then what about the PaaS conversation for you guys? Are you using Cloud Foundry? Are you sort of writing your own PaaS layer?
We're still writing our own PaaS layer, but we are looking at ways to make our software more platform aware. We've had some customers that are starting to push us into Mesos and Marathon and
Yeah.
Docker and starting to figure out how are we going to know when an object's destroyed and have the application still keep running. So there are a lot of ongoing discussions, right as I speak, about how we're going to solve that problem.
Well, and that expands your opportunities as well. If you So where's open source fit in your?
We've used open source technologies for our development since our beginning, so we're very comfortable with that, familiar with that. We use that in our infrastructure build out, so that's not something
that's
that
a natural
we're worried
lead to
about.
a platform like Cloud Foundry, which doesn't, am I right, does that expand in theory your TAM and in terms of opening up options for you? Or
I think it could.
Or give you operating leverage even? Or?
Like any company though, where you start with a certain set of technologies for building your product, starting to transition and pivot on some new ones is challenging, and they're the things that we're working on. But what we see is that the value we get out of operating on a cloud platform is worth the investment to do the software architecture changes to take advantage of things that can be made available to us.
All right, great. Well, we're seeing the traction. We're seeing momentum. Kerry and Andrew, thanks very much for coming on theCUBE. Really appreciate the time, the stories, and congratulations and good luck on future success.
All right,
Thank you very much.
All right, keep it right there, everybody. We'll be back with our next guest right after this. We're live from HP Discover.